Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we will see one of the most frequently asked question by Google and Amazon. Problem name is house robber. So first of all, let's read what the problem description says. You are a professional robber planning to rob houses along the street. Each house has a certain amount of money stashed. The only constraint stopping you from robbing each of them is that adjacent houses have security system connected, and it will automatically contact the police if two adjacent houses were broken into the same night. We have given the amount of money of each house, determine the maximum amount of money you can rob tonight without alerting the police. So fine. Now let's look at the example test cases. Now let's try to discuss the example 2 given in the question. The given array is 2, 7, 9, 3, 1. So we have two possibilities, whether to rob the house or whether to leave that house. So now let's look at the example 2 given in the question. If we rob house 1, then we cannot rob house 2. So now let's try to calculate our answer just by seeing that example. If we rob house 1, then we can't rob house 2, but we can rob house 3. And same for house 3. If we have robbed it, we cannot rob house 4, but we can rob house 5. So we come to the conclusion that we can rob maximum money as 12. How we have arrived to the conclusion that maximum money that a robber can rob is 12 is if we have robbed house 1, then he have money 2, but since he cannot rob house 2, he leave it and goes to the house 3 where he robs money, where he robs 9 amount of money, and he have to leave house 4, and when he reach to the house 5, as he can rob it, he picks up the money and go. So the maximum amount of money that he can rob in the example 2 is 2 plus 9 plus 1. So the total amount of money that he can rob is 12, and it is our answer. It is not compulsory that we have to rob the alternate houses. We can leave the house if we are getting maximum money by leaving it. For example, I want to discuss a test case, that is given an array 25, 5, 10, 50. So if the robber robs optimally, then the amount of money he should have robbed is 75. But if we go through our traditional approach, that is only calculate the maximum amount of money that we can rob in the alternate houses, then we should have robbed the amount of money as 25 plus 10, or if we have left the house 1, then we could have robbed 5 plus 50, that is 55. But that is not the correct answer. An optimal robber would not rob like this. When he robs house 1, he should have to leave the house 2, but he can rob the house 3. But if he robs house 3, then he should have to leave house 4. But the maximum amount of money that he would get by robbing is from house 1 plus house 4. So we should keep this thought in our mind and do not think that only calculate the maximum amount of money that we can rob from the alternate houses. So now let's move to the solution. I want you to know that this is the traditional DP problem, but before going to the optimized approach or jumping to the optimized solution, let us discuss the brute force approach or solution that we can come up with. So now I think the intuition is clear, and let's move toward the brute force approach. For the brute force approach, we're gonna check every house and try all the combinations we could make by robbing that house and do not robbing that house. So let's try to make a recursive pattern. So first of all, let's start from the house number 1. When I say house number 1, you should imagine that I am talking about the index 0. I am assuming that the house number starts from 1. It is same as the house at index 0. As we know, for the recursive pattern or the solution, we have to decide our base case so that we do not make recursive call indefinitely, and we can stop when that base condition occur and can return. Let's now try to code a recursive solution from the intuition that I have talked about. We would call another function max and we would pass two parameters to it, that is nums and the index of the house on which we are currently standing. So first of all, let me code a little bit, then I will explain you what I am doing. As we know that in the recursive solutions, we should make one base condition so that when it occurs, we can return back. And in this solution, the recursive condition would be the one, that is, for example, we have given 5 number of houses, and when we reach out of the bound, that is, when we reach to the house number 6 or 7, we should return back as we cannot rob any money from that houses, right? So if I is greater than equals to nums dot length, we should return back. That is, we can rob maximum amount of money from that house is 0, right? Now let's try to code a recursive pattern about which I have talked about and explained you in very great detail. That is, we should return the maximum amount of money that we can rob. Suppose when we are robbing a house at index I, let's take it money and add to the money that we have just robbed to the money that we can rob from the I plus 2 houses. Fine. Or when we leave the house at index I, calculate the maximum amount of money that we can rob from the I plus 1 houses. Fine. Now let's try to run it over the test cases and see what happens. Yeah, the test cases work. Now let's try to run it over the second test case, that is in which I have taken it as an example. Yeah, it works. Now let's try to submit our code. Oh, it's TLE. We have exceeded the time limit. So I will explain you why it happens and how to overcome it. And for making it easier you to understand, I have made a recursive tree in which the recursive calls are being made, and we would understand how that recursive calls has led to TLE. So now let's move to whiteboard. Here we have started to make the recursive call from the index 0. The left call is being made by assuming that we have taken amount of money on the index on which we are standing and skipping its adjacent index, and the right calls are being made by assuming that we have skipped the current index on which we are standing and taking the amount of money by leaving that index. You can observe from this recursion tree that same calls are being made many times. For example, the function rob, that is rob of num comma 6, and another function call, that is rob of num comma 5, is being called many times, and this increases the time complexity of our program. Since size of array can be any large number, the time complexity of our program becomes exponential, that is, it is of the order of big O of 2 to the power n, and the space complexity is big O of n due to recursion stack. So how can we improve the time complexity of our program? We can improve the time complexity by remembering the intermediate result and storing them into the another array. This storing of an intermediate result in recursion is called memoization. Now let's move toward the more efficient approach in terms of time. As we have discussed earlier, we would make a new array which would store the intermediate results. Let's name that array as memo array. Let's initialize the memo array by -1. I'm not going to write a new fresh code for this approach, but I would change our original solution on which we have got TLE a little bit so that you can understand the difference between the two approach properly. Fine. For every function call, we would also pass the memo array to check whether our memo array already contains our answer for a particular call or not. Here, since we have initialized the memo array by -1, and if at any index the value of the memo array is greater than 0, it means that for that particular function call we have our answer and we would return that answer. Now let's store the maximum value in another variable, that is result. We would come to the result only when our memo array don't know the amount of money that we can draw for that particular function call. Fine. We would store the result by the function calling in the memo array once again, and we would return back our result. I think that the approach is clear. Ultimately, what we are doing is that for every function call, we are checking that is our memo array contains our answer or not. If our memo array do not contain the answer, then we come over this line, that is int result, that is this line, and ultimately the function calls returns the value that gets stored into the result, and we are storing the value in the memo array, that is memo of I equals to result for any future purpose. That is, if in future any function call is being made to this function, then we could directly return the value. We would also pass the memo array here. Now let's try to run over the test cases. Yeah, it works. Now let's try to submit our code. Yeah, it works. So what is the time complexity of this program? It is big O of n, because we are only traversing the array once. And what is the space complexity of this program? It is big O of n. So it is much more efficient than the previous solution that we have seen, in which we have got TLE. Don't forget to watch my another video in which I have coded the same question solution using dynamic programming. If you have liked the video, then please press the like button and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.